The Department of Justice served Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve with a subpoena. I wonder what for. Let's hear from Jerome Powell.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats.
True.
I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
I agree. I agree 100% with him. We need an independent Fed. You're going to hear all these calls, oh, do away with the Federal Reserve. Oh, go back to the gold standard. This, that, and the third. Gold, silver. Maybe that's why Kennedy was assassinated. Maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you this. If we don't have independent agencies, especially independent monetary policy, we'll see things that will happen where when one party comes in, they'll try to control things to sway things their way. We don't need that. Money is supposed to be able to flow freely. No matter who's in office, no matter who's in power, we have to make sure that we have people as watch guards, and we have people who will make sure that, okay, we might need to pump more money into the system, okay, which is quantitative easing, and then we might need to pull back, which is quantitative tightening. If I'm mistaken, please put in the comment section. We need that. And at this moment in time, we need to have interest rates at the level that it is right now. I feel that interest rates should be a little higher. Why? Because it will allow people who have savings to be able to put money in a high yield savings account so that they can earn some interest instead of having to risk their money in the stock market, instead of having to risk their money with financial advisors who sometimes don't know what the hell they're doing, that will charge you interest rates that will charge you 1 or 2%, and then next you know, your portfolio is going down, and you asking them, hey, why my portfolio is down 10, 20%, and you still charging me 2%? What the hell is that? No, you want people to be able to say, you know what, I have my money in a high yield account, high yield savings account, so that I can be able to just draw down that interest and be able to live. If the Fed's mandate is to bring inflation to about 2%, and if a bank is paying a high yield savings account, a high yield savings of 5%, that means that you're beating inflation. Okay? Because you got that 2% loss and then you're up 3%. If let's say you spend 3% of your worth, that means that it's still going up. But what the powers that be, what the oligarchs want is low cost money. Because if they have low cost money, they will be able to buy things that you own, or they'll be able to artificially increase the value of the things that you own, you might say, oh, wow, my house has increased in value. But if you want to move from that house, guess what happens? Other people's houses are increased in value. So you're not winning anything. I personally feel that this is bullshit. It is. And we need to stop. We as a people, we have to make sure that we rein in the controls of our elected officials because they're not kings and queens. We have to stop that. We have to stop thinking that everything that they do is hunky-dory right. You have to start fighting. And I'm not talking about going on the street and punching people in the face or blowing people away. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with the power of your vote. Let them know that you are not having it. Because if you continue to allow bits and pieces of your democracy, your freedom to be taken away, it's just like this. When a person dies of 1,000 cuts, maybe one or two may not affect you, but over 1,000, yeah, you will die. And that's what is slowly happening. So I feel that this right here, it shouldn't happen. The Fed is an independent agency, and I have no problem with Jerome Powell. And he has, in my opinion, done an excellent job as Fed chair. Okay. And I have no problem with him. So only time will tell what's going to happen. Only time will tell. But my brothers and sisters, put in the comment section how you feel about this one right here. Really appreciate you watching, especially watching all the way to the end. Thank you. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff will help as I continue to grow on this YouTube platform. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.